Have you ever been sitting in a meeting, a classroom, or even just your home office, and you start to feel groggy? Your brain feels foggy, it's hard to focus, and you just can't seem to think straight. You might blame it on a bad night's sleep or that lunch you ate, but what if I told you the real culprit could be invisible, tasteless, and odorless? What if it's the very air you're breathing? Today, we're talking about something that's all around us, but we rarely think about: carbon dioxide, or CO₂. We all know it's a greenhouse gas and a major player in climate change. We breathe it out with every breath. But what most people aren't realize is that elevated levels of CO₂ in our indoor spaces can have a direct and frankly shocking impact on our brain function. Yes, you heard that right. The air in a stuffy room can literally make you dumber. Let's break it down. Outdoors, the average CO₂ concentration is about 400 to 420 parts per million, or ppm. It's what our bodies are adapted to. But indoors, it's a completely different story. Every time we exhale, we release CO₂ into the room. Without proper ventilation, those levels can skyrocket. In a typical office meeting room with a few people, CO₂ can easily climb to 1,000 ppm. In a crowded classroom or a poorly ventilated bedroom overnight, it can surge to 2,000, 3,000, or even higher. So what happens when we breathe in this CO₂-rich air? Our bodies are smart. To maintain balance, the amount of CO₂ in our blood increases. This can lead to a state called mild hypercapnia. The immediate effects are often what we dismiss as just feeling tired, headaches, drowsiness, and difficulty concentrating. But the science goes deeper, and this is where it gets really interesting. Several groundbreaking studies have put this to the test. Researchers at Harvard's T.H. Chan School of Public Health conducted a fascinating experiment. They had office workers perform their daily tasks in a controlled environment where the only thing that changed was the level of CO₂ and other indoor pollutants. The results were staggering. When CO₂ levels were at a moderate 950 ppm, a level commonly found in indoor spaces, cognitive scores dropped by 15% compared to when they were in a well-ventilated space with lower CO₂, and when the CO₂ levels were pushed to 1,400 ppm, their cognitive scores plummeted by a whopping 50%. Let that sink in. Your ability to think, strategize, and solve problems could be cut in half just because of the air quality in your room. The study looked at specific areas of brain function. Things like crisis response, information usage, and strategy were the most heavily impacted. These are exactly the high-level thinking skills we rely on to be productive and successful at work or school. It wasn't about memory or simple tasks. It was about our ability to process complex information and make smart decisions. Another study from the Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory found similar results. They tested participants at CO₂ levels of 600, 1,000, and 2,500 ppm. At 1,000 ppm, they saw significant reductions in decision-making performance. At 2,500 ppm, the effects were, in their words, dramatic. This isn't just a minor inconvenience, it's a major cognitive impairment. So why does this happen? The exact mechanisms are still being researched, but the leading theory is that increased CO₂ in the blood reduces the amount of oxygen that gets to your brain. Think of it like trying to run a high-performance engine on low-grade fuel. Your brain needs a constant, rich supply of oxygen to function optimally. When CO₂ levels rise, that supply is compromised and your cognitive horsepower sputters. This has huge implications for our daily lives. Think about it. That afternoon slump you feel at the office. It might be a CO₂ slump. The reason your kids struggle to pay attention in a crowded classroom, it could be the air. Waking up feeling unrested and groggy even after a full 8 hours of sleep. If your bedroom is sealed tight, CO₂ levels could be building up all night, preventing your brain from getting the restorative rest it needs. Even our homes, which we think of as our safe havens, can be hotspots for high CO₂. Modern homes are built to be incredibly energy efficient, which is great for our utility bills, but it also means they're more airtight. Without good ventilation, we're essentially trapping ourselves in a bubble of our own exhaled breath. Cooking with a gas stove, having multiple people over, all these things contribute to rising indoor CO₂. So, this all sounds pretty alarming. What can we actually do about it? The good news is, the solution is surprisingly simple. It all comes down to one word: ventilation. The easiest and most immediate fix is to open a window. Just cracking a window for 15 to 20 minutes a few times a day can make a massive difference. This practice, sometimes called shock ventilation, quickly replaces the stale, CO₂-rich indoor air with fresh outdoor air. Yes, even in the winter. The short-term energy cost is a tiny price to pay for a clearer, sharper mind. But what if opening a window isn't practical? Maybe it's too noisy outside, there are allergy concerns, or the weather is extreme. This is where technology can help. The first step is to know your numbers. You can't fix a problem you can't measure. I highly recommend getting an indoor air quality monitor. There are many great options available online, and they don't have to be expensive. Look for one that specifically measures CO₂ levels in ppm. Placing this monitor in your workspace, your living room, or your bedroom will give you real-time data. You'll be able to see exactly when levels start to rise and when you need to take action. It's a game changer. You'll start to notice patterns, like how quickly the CO₂ climbs when you have guests or when you're reworking in your office with the door closed. Once you know your levels, you can be more strategic. If your monitor shows CO₂ creeping up past 800 or 1000 ppm, that's your cue to ventilate. For a more permanent solution, consider improving your home's mechanical ventilation. Most modern HVAC systems have a setting that allows them to draw in a certain amount of fresh air from outside. Check your thermostat or system manual. You might have a powerful tool at your disposal that you didn't even know about. Another fantastic option is an energy recovery ventilator, or ERV. An ERV is a system that constantly exchanges stale indoor air with fresh outdoor air while recovering the energy from the outgoing air. In the winter, it preheats the incoming cold air, and in the summer, it pre-cools it. So you get all the benefits of fresh air without the massive energy penalty. It's a brilliant piece of technology for any modern, airtight home. Air purifiers are also great, but it's important to understand what they do. Most standard HEPA filters are designed to capture particles like dust, pollen, and smoke. They are fantastic for allergies and removing pollutants, but they do not remove CO₂. CO₂ is a gas, not a particle. So while an air purifier will improve your air quality in other ways, it won't solve the CO₂ problem on its own. You still need that fresh air exchange. Let's bring it back to our daily habits. At work, if you're in a long meeting and you feel the fog setting in, be the person who suggests cracking a window or taking a quick 5-minute break to step outside. In your home office, make it a habit to open the door and window between tasks. And at night, try sleeping with your bedroom door slightly ajar or a window cracked open, if it's safe to do so. You might be amazed at how much better you feel in the morning. This isn't about creating fear. It's about empowerment. By understanding how something as simple as CO₂ affects our minds, we can take simple, effective steps to improve our cognitive function, our productivity, and our overall well-being. It's one of the biggest life hacks that almost no one is talking about. Fresh air isn't just nice to have, it's essential for a healthy brain. So my challenge to you is this. Start paying attention to your air. Consider getting a CO₂ monitor and see for yourself. Open a window, take a fresh air break. Your brain will thank you for it. Thanks for watching it. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe for more content on how to optimize your life and health. Let me know in the comments if you've ever noticed this foggy feeling in a stuffy room. See you in the next one.